Says I've born and bred in the great white north, more than most could have wished for. My great granddaddy's built his land, hearts and soul and calloused hands, left it here for us to keep. We turned into many sheep, wolves have come from far and near to feast on us and commandeer. Turn us into the land of despair, and they now sit in the PM's chair. Fortunately, there is some hope from our neighbors to the wretched south. Freedom lives there, and they've invited us in to share. We're the ones who'll have to see hope can exist if you're not free. True, no, strong, and free. No longer seems to be. Time for us to stand up. In Canada, no longer trust. The question we must all face: are we in the right place? Man cannot be easily moved, but borders they subject to rules. Rule that I speak of is people can change their allegiance. Fortune come on us to do what's right, so our children won't have to fight to take back the freedom we've lost from leftovers of the Holocaust. Not everyone here will be saved, some just like to be enslaved. True, no, strong, and free, no longer to be believed. This time I'm gonna do what's right and be on the right side of this fight. Part of this song makes me sad, and part of this song makes me glad to stand here with Canadian pride. They'll shake into Dixie on the other side. Together we're an unstoppable force with out Ontario, Quebec, of course. We'll connect Alaska to the mainland and give Vancouver to Washington. True, no, strong, and free. No longer believes in me. This time I'm gonna make the choice. They'll no longer ignore my voice. You can't stop an ideal whose time has come. You can't affect change with your decisions. We've been disrespected long enough. Ottawa elites don't own us. That song resonates with me so much, especially since all the things that have happened, and even most recently, the Tamara Leach being charged and Chris Barber, and they want to apparently melt down his truck that he drove to Ottawa. Like, it's so pathetic how small and vengeful the Canadian government is, and more importantly, the Canadian people. Most of Canadians, I shouldn't say most, but the Liberals, they're communists. They are Marxists. And that's how it happens. I always wondered, how did Russia and how did all these countries fall to communism and Marxism? Now I know. I'm living it. I'm actually living it. Anyways, thank God for Trump. And thank God for the U.S. people believing in God and believing in freedom. Because without that, there's nowhere left. There's nowhere else to run. If the U.S. falls to Marxism, it'll be hell on earth. We've seen it happen over and over again. It's the same playbook. It always works out the same. Everyone says, oh no, socialism's good. No, we need the government for this, that. No, the government doesn't create anything. The government just steals and reallocates wealth, and it enslaves. So you can't, everyone looks to the government. Everyone knows government is incompetent and corrupt, but yet everyone keeps going back to them for handouts. Well, give me this, give me that, give me this. No, here's your life. Here's the cards. Here's the hand you were dealt. Play it. Quit looking for somebody. Quit trying to take somebody else's cards. Looking for a better hand. Anyways, I hope that the only thing we can do now is split the country up. We need to herd all the liberals in Ontario and Eastern Canada and let all the freedom-loving people go to the West. Like I said, Vancouver, we're going to have to give them to Washington State because, but there's no way, like, we can't outvote them. Plus, even if we could, like, the liberals get in with 20% of the popular vote because the system here it's designed to make sure that people never get to express their will. So most people vote against the liberals, but because it's divided, because there's 5 parties and we only have a first past the post system, the liberals slide in. It's been like that my whole life. I supported the Reform Party. We had the same problem with the Conservatives and the Reform Party years and years ago. Nothing's changed. And people that vote Conservative, I'm sorry, you're fucking idiots. You're idiots to keep voting for that party. That party does not represent you. It never has. That's why we had the Reform Party all those years. The Reform Party destroyed the Conservative Party. And then we said, okay, well, but there was still that fan base that they just couldn't change. They just couldn't, and they were all from Ontario. They just couldn't change. No, Conservative. I voted Conservative. My dad was a Conservative. Just no critical thinking skills whatsoever. Joe Clark, yeah. And Pierre Poilievre, he's even less of a leader than Joe Clark was. Like, not a word comes out of that man's mouth that I think is authentic. And where has he been on this stuff with Tamara Leach and the trucker convoy? He's been non-existent. And worse yet, he voted for Bill C-4, which most conservatives don't even know it exists, don't know anything about it, and even when they do read it, they misinterpret it because they don't read the definitions. And so they're fooled into thinking that it means one thing when it means exactly the opposite. That's your Conservative Party for you. Fraudsters, liars. They're pretenders. There's nothing conservative about the Conservative Party. And you can sit there and say, well, you're splitting the vote. How are you splitting the vote? If you're voting Conservative or liberal, you're voting liberal. You're voting for Marxism. You're voting for more of the same. I'm obviously a PPC supporter. And I don't see the Conservative Party of Canada doesn't represent any of my values. None. So I'm not splitting the vote. I'll either vote PPC or I won't vote. And part of me thinks that's maybe better. Let's just get on with it. Let's burn this bitch to the ground. Because that's what needs to happen. The West can leave, and they can take all that wealth, all that oil, natural gas, and potash, and everything that the Eastern elites here think is all bad, yet they're more than happy to scrape all that money over to this side of the country and use it for bullshit policies. No, cut them off. Cut them off. Say, no more. We're not your slaves. We're done. We're done with you. There's Canada over there. We're either going to be our own thing here, or maybe we will join the States. That's up to us. I know one thing. I'll be moving west. I'm in Northern Ontario, but I will be leaving unless we can carve out Northern Ontario as part of the West, which not a bad idea either, and just starve the Liberals, starve all the Marxists in this country, because they won't make. Then they'll have to make it on their own. But most of them work for the government, so you just cut off their money. You cut off their money. Unfortunately, you got to cut the country in half to do it. But you're gonna have to make decisions, people, because otherwise, my whole life I have watched this country just digress into more stupidity and more liberalism and more Marxism. I mean, I can't believe that we have drag queen story hour for kindergarten kids. I can't. The shit that's going on is like I don't even recognize the country anymore. We got to do what we got to do. Let's vote Carney. If we're not going to elect Maxime Bernier, then I say put Carney in and let's split this country in two. And the ones that want to live free and live a meaningful, righteous life, they can go to one side. And the ones that want to wallow in stupidity and degeneracy, they can stay in southwestern Ontario and Quebec and pretty much the whole east, as far as I can tell. Anyways, on that note, I got chores to do.